This video is going to be a beginner's guide to solar power and wiring an off-grid cabin. So if that intimidates you, we have something in common. I specialize in woodworking. I'm building an off-grid cabin. I like traditional skills, being out in nature, getting away from electronics. Until recently, I didn't even use power tools in my woodworking. So the idea that I'm diving into solar power is a bit of a surprise to me, but I see the benefit of it, and I can see how that really can make my life off-grid way more enjoyable. It allows me to work off-grid. I run my own business in addition to being a YouTuber, so simply this one little unit has allowed me to spend much more time out in the woods, building my cabin, and still running my business, because I can be powering a laptop off this, doing basic electronic work. I can be editing out here, going through photos, sending stuff to clients. And the big drawback to a system like this is that you're running cords. So I've got a cord running out the back of it to a light right above my head. The system that we're going to talk about today is the Smart Hub, which basically turns solar power into a panel box that you can then wire into your house or your cabin or RV or whatever, into actual light switches and electrical plugs. And so it's taken that convenience of solar power that these little all-in-one units have been delivering to us for a few years, and turning that into something that can now be hidden behind your walls. And considering I've got no electrical experience and it is one of my fears, I think I can manage it. I've actually just got off a technical support call with EcoFlow, and we walked through the steps, through the wiring, and honestly it's really not that hard. When all the stuff arrived and I started opening up the boxes and I saw fuses and cords and breakers, and I just was like, put it all back in the box, and I don't want to do this. I don't want anything to do with this. But I realized that I'm probably the perfect person to, well, I shouldn't say I'm the perfect person, but there's probably people like you, probably people like me out there who also have no electrical experience, who are intimidated by this stuff. And if there's going to be any unit that's going to be simple enough for people like us to figure out, I think this is actually it. And it seems to be like a really well-made, powerful system. So before I go into any further, I do need to say that EcoFlow is sponsoring this video. They've provided me this stuff. I've been testing their products all summer, and I'm so glad that I have, because like I said, it's completely freed me. It allows me to spend way more time out off-grid, running my business, shooting video, transferring files, and also having light and charging my phone and running the music. And so all these little luxuries have been nice. And so what I'm going to work on today is this smart panel and getting this wiring done. But before I do that, I want to show you the system that I was running before, because for many of you, this might be all you need. It's a single unit that you can plug all of your cables into. You've got your USB, USB-C, your regular AC plugs, your auxiliary plug, or known as a lighter plug. All of the things that you need to plug in, plug right into this one unit, and it's also how you collect your power. So on the back, it's got a little area where you can plug in your solar panels. You can also charge it with a generator, or you can charge it up when you're at home on the regular grid. So basically it's simple. You can bring it out charged, you can have the solar panels to keep it topped up, and use it for whatever you need. The downside to it is you always have these cords running around. So you got this thing out somewhere, you've got a cord running into a light, you've got your phones all plugged in to the unit, and it's kind of out in the middle of an area. And if you're doing a van or like an RV or a tiny cabin or a tiny house, you don't really have the space to have a unit like this sitting on the table. So you want that tucked away and all mounted into the wall, so that when you need to plug something in, you're not reaching for a unit like this, you're just plugging into an outlet on a wall like you would in your own home. So if you want that, and you want to actually wire this into the walls and into the into your circuit of your own home or your tiny house or cabin or whatever you're doing, this is the new Smart Hub, new Power Hub and Smart Distribution Panel from EcoFlow, and I think it's going to be really really cool. So I'm excited to dig into this and see if I can get this to work. I would say of all my fears, electrical is it. I'm not afraid of spiders or bugs or bears or sharks or anything like that, but electrical has been something that has intimidated me. So I think the easiest way to understand how this all works is to look at each part individually. So we'll start with this one here, because this is the center of the unit, the brains of the unit. This is the power hub. This is where your power is going to come in, and it's where your power is going to go out. So you have a choice between bringing power in through solar panels, through alternator cable, or through AC. And then you're also going to plug in your batteries to this unit as well. So this is how the batteries obviously store all of the power, and they're plugged into this power hub as well. And then on the far side is where your power is going to be going out. So this includes a few different important components, but most importantly it's the inverter. And if you don't know what an inverter is, you don't need to, because this takes care of it. What you do need to know is the difference between AC power and DC power. And you just need to know what they are. So AC power is alternating current. That's when current's going back and forth. That's the type of power that you get from a generator. It's what most of your outlets are going to be in your home, and it's what most of our common appliances are running on. DC power is more efficient. It's a direct current. It's how power is going to come off those solar panels, and it's how it's going to operate with the batteries. And if you're installing this in an RV or a van, that's all DC power as well. So there's a lot of appliances that are made for DC power. It's a more efficient power source, but because there's less demand for those units, they're often more expensive. The next item that I want to talk about are the batteries. I've got two 2 kilowatt batteries, give me a total of 4 kilowatts, but you can get the 5 kilowatt batteries and have a total of 15 kilowatts. So just depends on how much power you think you're going to need. We still plan on doing most of our cooking outside over the fire, so we're not going to be drawing a lot of heat power, which is really the most power consuming thing, is creating heat. So heating water, heating anything is definitely going to draw the most power. So if you can eliminate your heat sources and get that elsewhere, then just running lights and electronics really doesn't draw a lot of power. One of the other really cool features about the battery is it has a built-in heater. So if it gets too cold, the heater will click in and heat up the battery itself, so we don't freeze the battery. And that's good up to minus 20 Celsius. So that's not good enough for where I'm located. Here it gets minus 30, minus 40. And so I've actually designed a little cabinet that I've insulated just for these batteries that, well, and the whole unit actually, which you can see in a later video. So if you're interested in seeing this all get installed into its final place, subscribe to the channel and stay tuned, because I'm not gonna have time to do that all in this video, but that will be happening in the next couple months. And this is the best part. I remember watching off-grid cabins on YouTube a while back, and you see these guys with this table of what look like car batteries, and they've got positive and negatives all wired in. There's a mess of wires, and it's going to another system. And I was afraid that one day I was going to have to learn how to do all that, but this is all I got to worry about now, this plug. So I haven't even tried this, but we're about to find out. And you can see the quality of this stuff, right? This is a beautiful thick cable, nice mesh, really nice made plugs on each end. And I believe, there we go. So that plugs in just like this. Push down. Boom. Okay. That step used to be a full YouTube video. So really cool how simple this is. Just plugging the battery into the smart hub. And I've got 2 of these batteries, so I'll have the other one plugging in right beside it. You can run up to 3. We got a little power kit console. This is going to be your little LCD screen, allow you to control everything. We'll look into that more once it's up and running. And then I also have one of the solar panels. This is a 100 watt rigid panel. you can use both the rigid panels or the flexible portable panels. There's really nothing complicated there. It is simply another plug and play that plugs right into here. So this is the cord for the solar panel. On the back of the solar panel, you've got two little plugs that look like that. You just plug them into the ones that fit. If you're linking panels, it's pretty self-explanatory. You just plug it into what fits into each other. And then on the other end, you've got this plug that goes right in here. There we go. So this end's running out to the solar panels, and we've got it plugged in. So now we've got power coming in from the solar panel, and we have it being stored in the battery. This is the unit that intimidated me. I didn't know what it was, to be honest. I really didn't. There really wasn't much information about the unit because it's pre-release. They just kind of sent the stuff and asked me to make a video. And so when I opened it up and I saw this, I got a little nervous. Like I said at the beginning, electrical is my fear. I don't know why. I haven't diagnosed this. I haven't really thought about it. But for some reason I'm afraid of wiring and electronics that have open wires. But I'm going to conquer this fear. And I've already done a little bit of a walkthrough with the technician here at EcoFlow, and it really seems quite simple. So all I've done is turn the power on the battery, turn the power on the power hub, and plugged in the cable to the power kit console. And now I'm lit up. It's telling me I've got 0 input and 0 output, which makes sense because I'm not using any power. And my solar panel cable here is sitting right here in front of me. It's not much sunlight out there. I don't want to set up the panels yet, but based on my usage, which is none, I could be running this system for 99 days and 23 hours. So as soon as I start drawing power, I'm sure that's going to change. Okay, is there anything else I can procrastinate and do before I have to start doing wiring? I might have to do this now. Also, since this is all powered up now, I should be able to draw some power out of there, you know, before we even start talking about this fuse box. So I've got my trusty power tool battery charger there. Let's see if we plug into it. There we go. So in order to use the AC power, I need to hit this AC button. It also shows AC out. This light here where it says AC out is now lit up, demonstrating that that's being used. And my panel is now showing me that based on the battery I've got left, I could charge this battery for 4 hours. It won't take that long. It's showing that I'm using 80 watts of power towards that battery. So that's really cool. It can be as simple as that. So we'll take a closer look at the panel here. We have our AC side and our DC side. So we're going to be focusing on the AC side. We're going to run the wire from the power hub to the smart distribution panel right here with a cord that's provided. And then these are for your standard wiring. So this is just your regular household wiring for your light switches and outlets. And then these are your breakers. So if you blow a breaker, just flip it back off. It also has knockouts. So you've got a knockout here, knockout there, on all sides basically, just to make it easy for your wires to be coming in. I'm going to strip this back, expose the load and the neutral and the ground, and put them into their corresponding spots, and see if we can make this stuff work. So I've just received my first electrical lesson. I called my wife's Uncle Mike, and he walked me through the steps to wire up this light bulb, just so I could use it for demonstration to show power moving through. And you know, it's really important that you don't try to learn this on your own, and you probably should never learn from a video. You really need someone watching you and saying, don't do that, or make sure you do it this way, because electrical mistakes can mean electrocution, and it can mean fire, or it could mean fire down the road and burning down your place. So you really don't want to do this wrong. And for that reason, I'm not going to show you any of the electrical work that I've done, because I don't want anybody to use that as a reference. It's one of my hugest pet peeves when people learn something and then turn around and teach it. And just out of respect to all the electricians out there, I don't want to offend anybody by my bad electrical work, even though I think it's actually probably decent because I had someone good teaching me how to do it. But I don't know. I really don't know. I don't even know if this light bulb is going to turn on. So you don't want to learn electrical from me. Let's just leave it at that. But I will give you an overview of what I've got set up, and then we're going to see if the power actually moves through and turns on the light bulb. Again, when you're doing any electrical work, you got everything unplugged. So I had no power running through these systems. I had my AC out power off. And that cord is quite simple. You just plug and play over here on the EcoFlow side. And then when you wire it into the panel, it's also very simple. You just put the corresponding colors over the corresponding spots, and you put screws through and tighten them down. And you want to go quite tight. You want to really pinch it. That's one of the things I learned. So that was quite simple. Nothing complicated there. And what else do I have? I've got my smart panel connected with this cable right here. Oh, it's running inside. Which basically looks like this. It's just the old-fashioned phone cable, and that's connecting the smart distribution panel to the power hub and to the console, so everything can talk. And those are simply just slip in and plug and play. Nothing to that one. So really everything that EcoFlow provides is very easy to use, very easy to operate and set up. But at some point you have to move over to the traditional stuff, and for that I really recommend you hire a professional electrician, or you get somebody who certainly knows what they're doing, and don't just try to figure that one out. So with that all said and done, let's see if my first wiring job actually results in some power and some light. Okay, so when I turn those batteries on, that seems to be turning this on, and my console's giving me some power as well, so that means I got power running. Screen automatically turned on. So that means that if this is on, I need to hit this little AC button. I get a light indicating that my AC out is on. That means power is now going to this plug. That wire is what's running into the smart distribution panel. That means there's power now. This is live, and if I flip on the breaker right here, this light should go on. Let's try. This is like swimming with sharks, you know, and conquering the fear. I don't know why. I've been afraid of electrical my whole life, but I'm going to conquer this one because there's a lot of cool stuff I can do with this. Okay, it's going to take a moment here. This is probably not a big deal. I mean, to most of you, this is everyday stuff, so I'm going to turn that off and try not to get emotional. But that's it. So it works. There we have it. My closing thoughts are that, heck, if I can do this, anyone can. I don't know what else to say. I mean, I don't think you should try to do it, but the reality is that you probably could do it. Everything here is well made. I really like the way that everything, you know, these cables, the plugs, everything seems nice and solid. Everything was very simple. This smart panel comes with stickers, so it's easy to label things. For someone who's never done this before, to be able to figure this out by myself with just a FaceTime call, 2 FaceTime calls actually, one with the technician at EcoFlow, just kind of in advance to go over everything, and then one with my Uncle Mike, my wife's Uncle Mike. Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool that this is attainable. Now, this does not replace professional electricians. You know, make sure you have people that know what they're doing. This is a serious system. It's a powerful system, but I mean, I managed to just do it right here tonight with no one around. So there we go. We've got power. This is gonna be cool. There's so much more that we can explore here with the panel that I don't even think I can get into today. But for example, I can turn the AC out, off, and on with this. So that means I can cut off all the power running to this panel with the switch here. Okay, I'm gonna quickly just see if I can connect the app. Okay, as soon as I went into the app, it says new unit found. I'm gonna click add. I click on the app. I clicked off-grid build. My DC power system is a 12 volt. Sure. Wow. Okay, this is cool. Okay. Wow. In like 3 taps, just right now, I just opened the app for the first time. It's already showing me that I've got 16 watt of output, and I flipped it off. Let's see if it. There we go. So I'm able to do the same things from an app, and honestly, I didn't expect this to work. I've got horrible service out there. Like my FaceTime calls basically had no visuals to them. I don't get emails very often. The phone signal is not bad, but anything to do with internet and using like a wireless signal is not good. So I wasn't actually expecting this to work. But there we go. App now works too. So that's cool. So I could be sitting on the couch, and there's not gonna be a couch here. What am I talking about? I could be out of the fire and realize the lights are on in the cabin, and I'm drawing in moths and mosquitoes, and I just open up my phone, flick that off, and kill the power. And when I need to come back up, turn on the power, and we got lights back in the cabin. So that's cool. I could turn the lights on before we even get here, so that we're not stumbling around in the dark looking for a light switch. I really hope this helps some of you. This unit's not cheap, but I think it's super cool. So thanks for watching.